Pharmacist Ben.
Caught me in full dance mode.
How is the busiest man in nutrition doing?
I think we're asymmetrical here. First of all, you look like a little boy. What the heck?
Well,
you look like my little boy. Come on.
That's not what the ladies say. No.
Oh. Goddess Jill is all about you. I got to tell you.
What's that?
Goddess Jill's all about you. Goddess Jill, man.
Okay, I didn't catch that. But anyway,
all right.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, AJ?
Doing very well. I'll catch you.
Good to see you on this Monday evening after seeing you on Friday. Did we not cover something on Friday that we were going to cover?
No, you were pretty thorough. Well, there were a number of questions that we didn't get to on Friday.
Yeah, I remember that. I want to just get to questions.
But they didn't.
I always feel bad when I don't get to questions.
Yeah. But people didn't follow up. With, like I do have some email questions. But you know what it is, Pharmacist Ben. It's kind of like first come, first serve. I wish.
Right. But I ramble a lot. You give me rope, and I'll take it. I'll hang myself with it.
Yeah, but if you don't explain to people the mechanism, it's not really worth it.
I agree with that. I like to talk mechanisms.
Yeah,
and it's really important. Mechanisms. When people ask me sometimes like what I think of a skincare company or an ingredient or a supplement. I always want to say, what is the mechanism? I want to know how things happen. And so when we have a health challenge, understanding the mechanism will, number one, tell you how you got the problem in the first place. Number two, it'll tell you why prescription drugs are not the answer. And number three, it will very often reveal the logic of using what we talk about on this program all the time, the Mighty 90 essential nutrients to deal with health challenges once you understand the mechanism. And that's why I take pains to discuss the mechanism, even if it means that, sometimes people want pat answers. I don't give pat answers. So even if it means that I'm not going to give you the exact pat answer that you're looking for, I want you to understand your health challenge so you can be your own health authority. That's the mission here. You be your own health authority.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
However, as we've discussed before, there are some people that don't want to know. Just tell me what to take.
Give me the juice. Just give me the stuff.
Yeah, just tell me what to take.
I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable that way.
And then I get some people who are like, I don't want to change my lifestyle whatsoever.
No.
This stuff doesn't work.
I know. Well, the good news about supplements is that you can still get some benefit. Even if you don't change your life, you can still get benefit. You're just not going to maximize the benefit.
Okay, but the gentleman has an eye issue. I think it's macular, and wants to take Occutive and Vision FX, but doesn't want to change his diet. Doesn't want the 90, no collagen. I mean, nothing. And
you'll get some benefit, but there's no telling what kind of benefit you'll get. You may get some, you may not get any. You certainly aren't going to get maximum benefit.
Yeah.
So, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can't force him to drink. I don't ever persuade people. And people know when I do a call with somebody, sometimes they'll ask me to do a call for their friend or their parent or son or whatever. I always say, first, I'm not here to persuade anybody. You have to be already on board. And I'm just going to tell you the logic of it. And I'm going to help guide you through the process. But I'm not going to convince you. I don't want to convince. And I'm sure people on this call, everybody on this call, all 10 of people on the call here, they don't need to be convinced. They're here to learn. And those are our peeps. I'm not here to persuade anybody or convince anybody, although even if I'm not here to convince anybody, the message is pretty darn convincing, I think. It's pretty darn coherent and logical. It makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So even if I'm not intentionally seeking to persuade anybody, invariably people will be persuaded if they're open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. Talk to me.
All right. Well, we do have a good number of questions. First and foremost, let's talk about our friend Marilyn, who I think is on the live now.
Okay.
She said to me, osteoporosis. I'd like to talk about osteoporosis because the doctor wants to give me this medication called Prolia injections, and he wants me to give them every 6 months, and I know their side effects. And will this prescription cause more harm than good?
There's no prescription that's not going to cause more harm. I don't know about more harm than good. I don't know of any prescriptions save emergency. There's a place for emergency prescriptions, pain prescriptions, that kind of thing. But the kind of prescriptions they give you for degenerative conditions like osteoporosis, there's no good that can come out of that. There's no good that's going to come out of that. So more harm than good is obvious because there's no good. So, and your body has to clean it out like it's a toxin, which it is. So you're giving yourself a poison. Look, let's be logical here. How can taking a poison be good for you? It's a poison. You're gonna disguise a symptom, which is really there to tell you something's wrong. That's how doctoring works. And I make that joke. It's not a joke. I'm being really literal. I'm not trying to attack anybody. As I say all the time, I don't attack doctors because I like doctors. They're good people. But to doctor is to commit a fraud. If you go to the IRS and say, here's my tax forms, they're doctored. That means you committed a fraud. When you take Prolia for your osteoporosis, you're making it look like you have strong bones. You don't have strong bones. All you've done is slow down the breakdown. You've slowed down the degeneration of the bone. You say, oh, well, that's a good thing. Well, let me tell you why it's not a good thing. First of all, let's talk about osteoporosis first of all. Osteoporosis is porous bones, weak bones, soft bones. It is not a disease. It's not a disease. It's not a disease any more than a headache is a disease. Is a headache a disease?
Apparently not.
No, a headache is not a disease. It's a symptom. Headache's not a disease. And osteoporosis is not a disease. It's a symptom. What's it a symptom of?
Osteoporosis?
Yeah. There's only one disease.
My body's falling apart?
It's a symptom of MBFA. It's not a disease. It's a symptom of your body deteriorating. The bones are deteriorating. Everything's shriveling. It's dissolving. Remember the Wicked Witch of the West?
Yeah.
I'm melting. That's what's happening. I'm melting. Yes. We're turning into a puddle of mush. That's what happens when you degenerate. Oh, but I'm going to take Prolia, and now I'm going to be strong. I have my Prolia. No. Prolia is a drug that shuts down the cells that weaken bone. You say, why would cells weaken bone? Why do cells weaken bone? Why is it a good thing that cells weaken bone?
Why is it a good thing that a cell would weaken bone?
Yeah, you have these special cells. They're called osteoclasts.
Mm-hmm.
Osteo means bone. Clast means destroy or break down, deteriorate, dissolve, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Why would the body have osteoclasts?
In the event you need some flexibility?
Okay, well, I see you working. It's good that you're working. You're totally wrong, but it's good that you're working. No, it's good. You're thinking. This is good. This is good. I'm not being facetious. This is good. This is good. But it points to an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, if we don't understand the mechanisms of how everything's working in the body, we'll believe the commercial with the little cartoon on it and the people bungee jumping taking Prolia. Oh, now I can bungee jump. Because we don't really understand how it's all happening. And how it happens, for some reason, we think it's intimidating. We're told it's intimidating. It's delicious. It's so much fun. It's so enjoyable because it's us. It's our bodies. Why do people like listening to me now that we only have 7 people listening?
There's other channels.
Why do these 7 people want to listen? Because it's enjoyable. It's nice to know how your body works. So here's how the body works in terms of the bone anyway. Your bone is your skeletal system, and it's constant. And by the way, it's your connective tissue. Your bone is connective tissue, like your blood is connective tissue, and like your fascia and collagen are all connective tissue. The bone is connective tissue. The body is constantly breaking down the connective tissue. Why? Because you can't put new wine in old vessels. You follow what I'm saying here? You got to have out with the old, in with the new. You know, the king is dead, long live the king. You got to have turnover.
So
you have strong bone. Osteoclasts are clearing out the old bone so new bone can replace it. So our brilliant medical community, pharmacomedical community says, let's poison the osteoclasts. And that way there won't be any more clear out. And you'll have bone. What they'll tell you is it's old bone, it's weaker bone. You've now shut off the turnover time. Why? Because you can't figure out how to stop the deterioration of the bone. Because you're not listening to Ben and AJ on Mondays. And you're not listening to Pharmacist Ben on Fridays. Because if you were, you would know your doctor would know, and your patients would know, how you take care of your bone. It's my body's falling apart disease. So first of all, the bone is a repository of calcium. It's a storage form of calcium. Most calcium in the body is in the bone. And you have a little tiny bit of calcium in the blood. Like, I don't know, 1%, 2% of your calcium in your body is in your blood. What is calcium? What's the role of calcium in the blood? The role of calcium is to activate things. It's an activator. It turns things on, it makes things happen. That's why you have calcium channel blockers, because doctors want to stop things from happening in the heart. So calcium makes things happen. And it's kept in the bone, and then it's trickled out into the blood for activation. However, when your blood is acidic from toxicity, acid represents waste, acid represents toxicity, the body will release some calcium as a neutralizer, like the way you take Tums. You know, Tums are calcium, right?
Absolutely.
Right? And that neutralizer will raise the pH of the blood, which is great, but now you're not going to have calcium in the bone. So deterioration of the bone is secondary to acidic blood, dirty blood. On top of that, if you have glycation and you have inflammation from a leaky gut, histamine and bacterial particles, your bone's going to deteriorate. And you're going to go to the doctor and get Prolia, and he's going to make it seem like your bones are stronger while you're glycating away, while you're inflaming away, while your blood is toxic. You're going to look like you've had, like your bones are good because you took your Prolia. That's called committing a fraud. That's called doctoring. You've committed a fraud. So no, Prolia is ridiculous. So is Boniva and Fosamax and these other drugs. Ridiculous, and they're not there for you, Marilyn. They're there, not there for your doctor either, by the way. They're there for the drug companies to make a lot of money, and they do. And they'll throw, all it costs them is a commercial of somebody bungee jumping. But it costs you your longevity and, God forbid, further health issues down the road because you haven't corrected the problem. So no, it's an idiotic drug.
Pharmacist Ben, okay, well, before I ask my next question,
yes,
what can our friend Marilyn do?
Healthy bone and joint pack right away. Work on digestion. Guaranteed.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, some of the folks that we work with don't have as much money as others.
Okay, fair enough. Then if you don't, I'm going to tell you I do with no money or not with very little money. Stay away from foods that deteriorate connective tissue. Stay away from toxins that get into the blood and amplify or enhance the inflammatory response. Stay away from anything inflammatory. And I don't want to say I love it, but I love the concept of inflammation. You know why? Because it's so metaphorical to me. So all diseases are inflammatory, right? There's always an inflammatory component. And I find that so metaphorical because we go through our lives from birth to death for most of us. Unless you've become self-aware and thought about it, you become spiritual. For most of us, we go through our lives from birth to death in a position of defense. Have you noticed this with your friends, your family, and even yourself? That we go through lives on edge, in defense. We're in defensive mode. You know, I used to do these trade shows. You know, we sit at a booth and people walk around and they look at you. And I always noticed when people were walking around, they had their hands in their pockets. Like, don't touch my wallet. This is not coming out. I am not pulling my wallet.
No matter what you say.
No matter what you say, this wallet is staying right in my pocket. And I always noticed that. It's like that's how we live our lives, though. We live our lives shut down because we're protecting ourselves. And that's why I love the the metaphor of inflammation. Because what is inflammation? It's a protective response. Mm-hmm. Our bodies are manifesting what our psyches are going through physically. Our bodies are showing up physically what's happening in the exact same defensive posture that our psyches are in and our spirits and souls are in. We're all in this defensive posture because we're constantly being attacked and bombarded. In the body, however, it's egregious because the body has mechanisms for protecting itself that are millions of years old, hundreds of millions of years old. So it really shouldn't happen. But look what we've done to our food supply. I've said it before, a sliver before midnight, a split second before midnight, we completely changed our food supply. And now we eat food that's way, way, way deficient in nutrients. And we grow food, we grow our crops, and our farm animals eat from soils that are nutritionally deficient. And then we compound that with the toxins in food, and then we're nutritionally deficient, and we got weak digestive systems, and we got leaky gut, and it's a big mess. So first of all, the less you eat, the longer you live. So first of all, free, cheap, stop eating. Or I'm exaggerating, but eat less, fast. Stay away from the snacky foods.
What if people are afraid that they're getting too skinny, and
nobody wants to be fat. They want to be strong and lean. Okay, you don't want fat.
When we get older, and
when you get old, you don't want fat. You ever see skinny fat?
Skinny fat. I've seen skinny fat. Yes.
That's not pretty. It ain't pretty. I've seen skinny fat up close. It's not nice. Okay. You don't want to be skinny fat. You want to be toned. You want to be muscular. And by the way, I was just reading about muscle, how muscle is important for protecting against fatty liver disease. I was going to read this article before we got digressed here about the relationship between fatty liver disease and muscle that nobody talks about. You're about too many calories and too much sugar. And but now this got a different side. Researchers looked at everyday adults and found that, especially in men, low muscle mass was one of the strongest predictors of fatty liver disease.
Wow.
Yes, you want to build muscle, especially as you get older. So to answer your question, what about people as they get older? They're frail. They don't want to be fat. Go eat ice cream and pizza. And you think that's going to help? No, you want to go to the gym. And by the way, creatine is one of the most important supplements an older person, and by older person I mean me, not quite you yet, AJ, but coming. People in their 60s need creatine for the brain, for the skin, for the heart, and for the muscle. And you need to be in the gym a little bit, or even at home with dumbbells. You need to be doing some resistance training. It doesn't have to be a lot, but that's what, to answer your question about skinny people. Now I want to get back to this gal because we don't want her to spend a lot of money for osteoporosis. So if she can't do the healthy bone and joint pack, at least do the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, first of all. Secondly, stay away from any foods that are inflammatory. Guarantee she's got digestive issues because the same deterioration of the bone happens globally. You don't just deteriorate in one part of the body. So work on the gut, work on gut health also, and go ketogenic. Now, I know we're here to talk about longevity, but because this gal and other people maybe listening don't have money, these are all strategies that won't cost you anything, and they'll add years to your life, and you don't need to go on Prolia.
Thank you. A lot of people who I speak to who can't afford, don't want to spend, or the Healthy Body Start Pack, I'll recommend to them the Basic Mighty 90, which includes the Ultimate Classic Liquid. Do you remember that?
That's great. It's a great supplement. Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to...
Anything with the plant-derived minerals will change your life if you haven't supplemented. Just the plant-derived minerals. Okay. And there's a few of them. There's the what did you call it? The mineral, the
Ultimate Classic Liquid.
Ultimate Classic Liquid. There's the Rainforest, Ultimate Rainforest. There's a bunch of them. Any liquid minerals will, if you're not used to supplementing, will have benefits that can be life-changing potentially if you've never supplemented.
I love this one.
Cherry Mints. Go-to Cherry Mints, exactly.
And
they're not even that expensive. They're like $50.
No, Cherry Mints is $28.
It's $28. That's wholesale though, right? Is that retail?
Wholesale. Nobody pays retail.
Okay, gotcha.
Nobody. And if you call AJ, you get even more discount than that.
Call AJ. Sign up under AJ. And by the way, if you like this kind of stuff, we want distributors who like nutrition. We want distributors who like health. We want distributors who don't buy into things just because they're told by some authority that you got to have this injection, that there's no other way to do it. I talked to, on my last call right before this, I talked to a guy whose daughter had her gallbladder taken out at age 17.
Oh.
17. Now she's got another 80 years or 70 years of, or whatever, however long she lives, of having to deal with this thing. And why? Because she had gallstones. Nobody thought to think why they had gallstones. The doctor said, sorry, we can't clear the gallstones out. We got to take the organ out. And they said, you can live fine without it. I mean, that's crazy. And I don't want to get into all the negative stuff because it just makes me mad. And that's just the world we live in. But we can do something about it. And if you don't want to do something about it for yourself, do it for your kids or your parents. Do it for innocent people who don't know any better. For those of you listening on this program.
You're saying the call right before this one?
Yeah, I did. I do a radio show before this one with Dave Michaels.
So this was California. These people were
in California. Yeah, in California.
It's
exactly.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Terrible.
All right. So before I go to our next questions, because we do have a good series of questions here.
Okay. I want people on the call. Do we have questions from people on the call, or is it all?
I have one question I have two questions for people who are in the room with us.
Yeah, let's do them first.
Other questions like the one that was in our title, which talks about
let's do the ones who we hear first. So spinal stenosis is just more.
Whoa! Just a quick comment. Yeah. I was watching Bloomberg. Okay. They were in Davos.
Okay.
And the president of Moderna was talking.
Oh, great.
And he was talking about the new, so the question was, now that they've reduced the amount of jabs that you're going to be giving kids now,
okay.
What are your prospects for the company?
Oh, what are your prospects for the company?
He's like, he's like, wait. He said, we have our technology, and we will be now using it for a new class of drugs, which will fight cancer by using the mRNA technology to stimulate the immune cells to give off a stronger immune response. And I'm sitting there, I'm saying, wait a second. Why don't you just strengthen the immune system?
Because you can't make money doing it. You can't make any money doing that. You can't make money. You can't make billions and maybe trillions. There's probably trillions of dollars.
But he explained the mechanism. He explained
the mechanism. Yeah.
If anybody understood what
that's
he
right.
said,
that's right. I know what you're saying. You think he would know? Why don't we just strengthen the immune system? Why do we have to give a freaking piece of genetic material so the body is in this constant low-level state of immune activation? That's what it does. You have this constant chronic immune activation. Who in their right mind thinks that's a good idea? It's crazy to me. And yet you have these people who are really smart. They're not dummies, and they support this thing. It's just it just blows me away. I can't even get my mind around how this works. And by the way, you want to talk about spinal stenosis. We want to answer questions, but I wanted to pat myself on the back a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Not really, but I just want to point this out, how people are starting to notice this.
The Pharmacist Ben was right?
No, I know. I don't want to do it just because I'm right, but just because I want to show that what I'm talking about here is valid. So this is from, I'm just going to read the headline and talk about it for a second here. And then we'll go to stenosis. Exploring the links between nutrition, the gut microbiome, and neurodevelopmental disorders. Neurodevelopmental disorders, which include autism. What is that? Emerge during early childhood, affecting cognitive and behavioral health and motor development, but genetic factors contribute to the onset, blah, blah, blah. Recent studies highlight the significant role of environmental factors, particularly nutrition, in influencing the severity and manifestation of symptoms, primarily through the gut. This is from the Journal of the Institute of this is from the Institute of Applied Biosciences Center for Research and Technology.
Pharmacist Ben, I swear that the smart people are listening to what you say, and then they're applying it in their life and in their world. And I think they probably thought, some of them probably thought, let's prove them wrong. And then their research was like,
you can't.
He's right.
What I'm talking about is unfalsifiable. It is not possible to falsify what I'm talking about because I'm talking about basic biochemistry. When I say don't inject things into your blood, you can say something like, oh, well, it's not that bad, or, oh, the body can take care of it. Oh, we know, we've done studies and it's safe and, there's no problems. So I'm telling you just logically, you don't put foreign substances in the blood. Oh, but we did the studies and it's okay. And it's all, no, logic. You don't put toxins in the blood. Period. You don't put genetic material in the blood. Oh, but we know it's safe because we tested the people and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm talking logic. The blood delivers everything around the circulatory system. So it has to be pristine. The main source of toxicity is the gut. Where else, unless you're injecting, and assuming you're not injecting, where else can it come from? Where else can it come from? This is just logic. There's no science here. There's no medicine here. There's nothing complicated. It's just logic. Dirty blood, logic. Hypercoagulable blood, logic. Cells under stress becoming neoplasms or growths or cancers, just logic. Autoimmune disease, the body attacks distorted tissue that's distorted from the blood, from stuff that got in the blood, just logic. So when 20 years from now, you read a study that says, oh, Ben was right. It's not that it was right. It's just that it's logical. And that's how we want to look at this. It's just logic. And, do you ever hear that old joke where they say, the lady catches her husband cheating or the husband catches the wife cheating? And he goes, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? It's like that. It's just logic. Who are you going to believe, me? I'm a doctor, or your own logic? Go with your logic.
Yeah, that was a Shaggy song. I don't know if this is, okay. So please
tell your doctor. I put that up again real quick. Did you have that up? I'm going to say this. I know Magic Music 53. I love that. I love that name, Magic Music 53. I'd love to hear what that comes from. I like magic music. I like the way that sounds. I hate talking about your doctor behind his back. I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish I didn't have to talk about, and I have friends who are doctors. It's not the individuals. I want your doctor to come on this program. Magic Music 53, you tell your doctor that we'll give him a free Beyond Tangy Tangerine on me if he comes on this program and we can talk to him about Prolia. And I'm not going to complain about Prolia, but I'll talk to him about Prolia. And we'll have a little discussion. Tell him we'll have an honest discussion about Prolia, about its mechanisms, about its potential, the problems with the mechanism, what causes osteoporosis. Tell him on me, he'll get a free jug of Beyond Tangy Tangerine if he comes on this program. Magic Music, this is the number. You give us a call at this number, unless you already have my cell phone number, because I think I may know who you are. In case you don't have my cell phone number, this is the number that you can call and give your doctor so that he can get a discounted. No, I'll get free. Free BTT. Okay, wait a second. On me. Wait a second. Pharmacist Ben. If anybody out there can get their doctor to come talk to you, you'll give the doctor a free BTT, 100%. And I'll give them a free BTT. They'll get two free BTTs. They'll get 2 months worth of BTTs. One from me and one from AJ. There you go. I want to talk to them. I don't like talking behind their back. And like I was just telling AJ, what we're talking about here is not falsifiable. And I'll tell a funny story. I probably told you this already, but it's so funny. I'll tell it again. I went on a show with, MZ, my friend who has a radio station, and he likes to stir the pot. He likes controversy. So he has a friend who was a doctor, a cardiologist, who wanted him to be on a statin drug. And he knows what I talk about, cholesterol, all the time. So MZ decided to get us both on the show for a 2 hour. It was a 2 hour show, and we would talk and toss ideas back and forth. Well, wouldn't you know it? About 45 minutes into the show, Dr. Potkin, his name, I just forgot I got an appointment. I have to leave early. This is all on the internet. He had to leave early because he couldn't disagree. You can't disagree with what I'm saying. At best, you could do is say, well, because patients aren't compliant and they're not going to this is what they say when you hold their feet to the fire. They can't say it's good for you. They can say, well, we know that in patients who aren't compliant and they're not going to change their life, then the drugs will give them a little bit of benefit. And that is true. But what I'm saying is, let's get compliant. Let's do things. Let's take care to address our life. Let's take care of ourselves. And this is part of self-love. You know what, AJ? Interestingly, I believe we don't love ourselves enough. I believe we suffer from lack of self-love. And I think it comes from our childhood. Our parents don't want us to be, arrogant, or the culture beats us up. Life beats us up. And so we don't love ourselves, because to me, Beyond Tangy Tangerine is self-love. We have Valentine's Day coming up. Be your own Valentine. Give yourself some love, man. And you may think you like Pop-Tarts and pizza, and French fries, but that's not love. Broccoli's love. OJ's love. Not OJ, but orange juice is love. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that? You know who? What the heck's that guy's name? Ali G and Borat. Borat?
Borat, I know who he is. Yeah.
Borat. So he has one guy. He does a gay guy. He's called Ali G. What the heck they call him? Bruno. His name's Bruno. He's a gay guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruno goes on, and everything he does is all like a joke, right? It's not real. So he goes on this talk show, and of course the host is in on the talk show, but the audience isn't. It's a black talk show. All these black people, black host and black audience. And Bruno goes on, and he says he's adopting a baby, and he says, "Would you like to see the baby?" And Bruno is, this kind of gay white guy, and we got the baby. And it's a black baby, and as I'm adopting him, and they go, "What's his name?" He goes, I name him a traditional African name. He's got this gas here. So what's his name? Traditional African name. I name him OJ. The audience goes crazy. The audience goes totally nuts. Yes, little OJ. You got to Google it. It's on YouTube. It is so funny.
Oh, man. All right. Magic Music wants a repeat on that phone number. It's 855-949 3377. That's 855-949-3377. I think we're going to be kicking up some Tangy Tangerine. Pharmacist Ben, please tell me about the strategy to deal with spinal stenosis.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just smell the water to make sure the water was clean?
Yeah. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's your house.
But I leave it sitting here for like long periods of time by my studio here. It's a gallon jug. So I know I do have to check it, because I've guzzled it and it hasn't been good. So anyway, I love what you said about strategy. I developed something many years ago I call the STAR system. The STAR system is an acronym that you can use to achieve anything you ever want in life. You want to make money, you want to have a great relationship, you want to be healthy, you want to, achieve some kind of goal, whatever it is you want to get, you can use the STAR system to get it. So the STAR system is an acronym, STAR, S for strategy. Strategy is like a formula, a recipe. When I'm in the lab and I'm making something, I always start off with a formula. 5% glycerin, 10%, vitamin C, whatever. I build the formula. The few times I've gone in without a formula, it hasn't been good. So when I'm in the lab, I always start with a formula. The formula is a recipe. I don't know how to bake chocolate chip cookies. I'm the worst cook ever, but I can bake the best chocolate chip cookies in the world. The same exact chocolate chip cookies that the greatest chocolate chip cookie chef on the planet can bake. If I have one thing, what?
The formula, the recipe.
The recipe. That's what a strategy does for you. It starts you off. What's my strategy going to be for food, for getting healthy? I'm going to lower my calories. I'm going to get on Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I'm going to exercise. Whatever it is, you start off with a strategy. Everything should start off with a strategy, a recipe, a program, a formula to get what you want. But that's not enough. If you just have a strategy, that's a piece of paper. Recipe, that's a piece of paper. I can't make chocolate chip cookies out of a piece of paper. I got to have the tools. T for tools. The ingredients.
Oh, STAR.
I need
strategy
tools. Tools. I need the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I need the dumbbells. I need the baking pan. I need the chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chips. I need the oven. All that. So it's not enough to have a strategy, but if you have a strategy and you have tools, now you can get in somewhere. But it's not enough to have the tools and the strategy. If I have just a bunch of chocolate chips and a baking pan and an oven and a recipe, that's not going to get me chocolate chips. I got chocolate chip cookies. I got to know how to use the strategy and the tools. How long do I cook the cookies for? How long do I mix them for? Do I put the eggs in before the butter? What is the application? I have to know how to apply the tools so I can take advantage of the strategy. The beautiful thing about the STAR system is once you have a strategy, once you have tools, and once you apply the tools, you will always, 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 always get results. And that's the STAR system. Strategy, tools, application, results. And so when you asked about stenosis, spinal stenosis, I thought that was, you said strategy. What's the strategy? I'm going to tell you the strategy. I'm going to tell you the tools. I'm going to tell you how to apply the tools, and you're going to get results. So first of all, we got to understand what spinal stenosis is. Stenosis means narrowing, right? The spine is hollow. And inside it, you got spinal fluid, which is a derivative of the blood. Technically called cerebrospinal fluid, right? You've heard that term? Cerebrospinal fluid. And that goes in the spine. The spine, or the spinal fluid, is a derivative of the blood. It comes from the blood. Like all the liquid in the body comes from the blood. Everything comes from the blood. So when the spinal fluid, when the blood is toxic, the spinal fluid will become toxic. It's a derivative of the blood. When the spinal fluid is acidic, or when the blood is acidic, the spinal fluid will become acidic. It's a part of the blood. It's dirty blood. We call it spinal fluid, but it's dirty blood. Dirty blood will change the nature of the inside of the spine. Yes? You're going to say something?
So a derivative of blood, all of our fluids are a derivative.
All the fluids are derivative from the blood. All comes from the blood. Everything comes from the blood.
Lymph.
Everything. The solids come from the blood. Everything comes from the blood. So when the blood's toxic, the cerebrospinal fluid is going to be toxic, acidic, metabolic wastes, etc. When they're accumulating in the blood, they're going to accumulate in the spinal fluid, and that's going to have a reaction on the lining of the spine. Are you making sense?
It makes tons of sense, but
okay. I'm going somewhere here. I'm going somewhere here. The reason I want to say this is because can you see this is not hard to understand? This is logical. But until I just said it, if somebody heard spinal stenosis, they'd go, bad. That's bad. I got to do whatever it takes. Without knowing how the pathological progress of how this thing develops, the developmental aspect of the pathology, we're just victims. But now you understand that you have a tube, spinal cord's a tube, has fluid in it. The fluid interacts with the inside of the tube. The fluid, when it's toxic or it's not doesn't have the right chemistry, will react with the size of the tube, and things will start to compress. The tube will actually protect itself. So you'll get calcification, and you'll get the deposition of various substances, and then the tube will start to narrow. Are you with me?
Yes.
You look like, okay, I want this to be perfectly commonsensical. Is it?
For me, it's absolutely commonsensical.
Okay, so I hope for the listeners it's perfectly commonsensical. So what do you do? Now remember, strategy, tools, application, results. So what's your first strategy going to be now that I've explained the mechanism? First strategy.
Reduce food intake or do
not
a food
quite.
diet.
No, don't go there yet. The strategy. That's the application. The strategy. Strategy is the big picture. Clean the blood.
Okay.
Clean the blood. Clean the blood. That's what you do. That's your main strategy for all health challenges, particularly spinal stenosis. The problem is just the word spinal stenosis, it doesn't land. We don't know what that means. Now that you understand what that means, now you can see that there's a strategy you can employ to reduce the impact of the toxicity on the lining of the tube. So clean the blood first. That's your number one strategy. What's your tools for cleaning the blood? You can use elimination diet, eliminate problem foods. You can use your I-26. You can use your Fucoid Z. You can use your ultimate enzymes. You can use Dr. Aria's liver cleanse. You can use nightly essence. You can use ultimate enzymes. You can use ultimate microbiome. You can use daily digest. Longevity
MSM?
specializes. What?
MSM?
Well, I'm going to get into that in a second. Okay, I'll get to right now. I'm talking about food stuff, digestive stuff.
Okay.
Okay, digestive stuff. That's the first thing. Remember, cleaning the blood strategy. The tools you're going to use are digestive and building the intestinal lining. The intestinal lining is made up of mucosa and connective tissue, epithelia and connective tissue. So, like you just said, MSM, fucoidin, collagen peptides, a healthy bone and joint pack, anything to build the connective tissue and improve the mucosa with the fucoid Z. Okay, so those are your tools. You're going to work with the digestive system, all the supplements we talked about, food diary, elimination diet, and you're going to build the connective tissue. How are you going to apply those tools? You're going to apply the eating tools by eating less. You're going to have to figure out how to eat the foods, and you're going to have to figure out how to take the supplements, depending on what supplements. Some supplements you're going to take with food, some you're going to take on an empty stomach, some you're going to take once a day, twice a day. It'll vary how you apply these tools. If you clean the blood, you use the tools that we just talked about, and you apply the tools correctly, I'm guaranteeing you 100%, 100% you're going to get results. That's the beauty of the STAR system. Now, in the case of spinal stenosis, you're going to get better cerebral spinal fluid. You're going to get better spinal tube functioning. So once the stenosis is there, it's a little trickier. Then you have to start doing things like chelation. Chelation is where you magnetically pull toxins out of the sides of the tube or in the blood vessels if you have blocked arteries, and that's another place where stenosis occurs. Chelation is going to be your main strategy.
That's going to reduce the calcification?
Yes. And with calcium, in particular, you can use magnesium and vitamin K. Magnesium and vitamin K have an ability to react with calcium. So those are two strategies for calcification, and then also chelation. Vitamin C is chelating. N-acetylcysteine is chelating. Probiotics have chelating properties. Fucoidin has chelating properties. Selenium has chelating properties. Sulfur has chelating properties. All the plant-derived minerals are chelating. All the plant-derived minerals are. That's another thing about plant-derived minerals. Plant-derived minerals are detoxifying, and they're also energizing for the mitochondria, in addition to being important as just general nutrition, general nutrients. They're specific for detoxification and for mitochondrial health.
Okay, Mary, you're here with us. Mary, unmute yourself, and let's see if we can get Mary to ask a question. Mary.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you. Don't be shy.
Oh my gosh.
If AJ's showing his face, you can show yours.
That's right, because I got a mug.
This was not planned.
Come on, Mary.
I'm trying. It's not allowing me to.
No, you're just making that up. Come on.
No, seriously.
I know. You're just.
Let me
playing.
see. I'm trying to press. Let's see. Press V. This is a different system. Let me see if that worked.
All right. No worries. I just like looking at people. That's all right. Go ahead. Well, how can we help you, Mary?
Okay. This is a follow-up from last Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so it has to do with the sulfates, as you were talking about then.
Closer to your microphone, please, Mary.
Closer to the microphone. How about this? Is this better? Okay.
Yes. Talk to us.
Do sulfates need cofactors to absorb?
To be absorbed.
Okay, do sulfates need cofactors to absorb and be used more effectively? And do all types of sulfates help the body the same way with different connective tissues? For example, chondroitin, sulfate, MSM, and fucoidin as examples.
Okay, so let's take your first question. Yes, you can improve sulfate absorption with digestive strategies. That's true. And so if you're using fucoidin to get the sulfate, you want to take it with meals. And also, remember, the body will make sulfate out of sulfur, and anything you could do to eat sulfur is going to be important. And yes, having your ultimate enzymes and making sure your stomach's producing acid and making sure you have healthy intestine, they're all going to be important for the absorption of sulfur and sulfates. So that's the first part of your question. Did that answer that?
Yes.
So yes. Now the second part's really interesting because you said about the different forms of sulfate, right?
Correct.
You wanted to know about, what did you want to know about the different forms of sulfate? I forgot the actual question.
Do all types of sulfates help the body the same way?
Okay, that's right.
With different
they all help the
connective
body the same way.
tissues.
So that's really interesting because there's only one sulfate. There's not all kinds of sulfate. Sulfate is just sulfate. It's sulfur and oxygen, period. Nothing else. It's attached to chondroitin.
Yes.
It's attached to glucosamine. It's attached to magnesium. It's attached to things because, I don't know if you remember me saying this, sulfate has polarity. Remember we talked about polarity, pull, and non-polarity? Do you remember talking about that? Let me just say it in another way.
I don't recall that.
Okay,
no.
okay. Let me just say it more simple way. Okay. Some things dissolve in water, some things don't dissolve in water. Okay. If something does not dissolve in water, it's going to be harder to process, for the body to process.
Mm-hmm.
Sulfate activates things. Now, some things will dissolve in water, like, for example, fucoidin, for example, but sulfate facilitates its interaction with water. Sulfates are electrical, and anything electrical will facilitate the interaction of water with another substance. So glucosamine is attached to sulfate, so it becomes a little bit more utilizable by the body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's why it's attached. Chondroitin, dermatan, there's various elements, molecules in the body, in the connective tissue that are attached to sulfate. The sulfate in a supplement is important for helping it interact with water. So here's a question for you, Mary and AJ. If the sulfate in a supplement, like glucosamine sulfate, helps the glucosamine interact with water, why would the body put sulfate in the collagen? Or in the connective tissue, in the dermatan, or the chondroitin, or the glucosamine? What?
To make it interact with water?
Yes, exactly. You see, we talk about collagen all the time, and we talk about fucoid, and we talk about the connective tissue, but what we don't talk about is what its nature is. Its nature is to be squishy, like a matrix, like a gel. And this gel that is the matrix, that is the connective tissue, it's called the connective tissue matrix, this jelly substance that is us, squeeze yourself. Feel how it feels kind of jelly?
No,
right?
Rock
no,
hard,
yours is like
man.
a rock. Like yours is like a boulder. I know. I know. But the rest of us, it feels kind of here. Feel. All right, squeeze your earlobe. Squeeze your earlobe. Okay. There's a squishiness to it.
Yeah.
That squishiness is everywhere. In fact, when that squishiness breaks down, we get old and sick. So the squishiness helps hold everything in place, like a Jell-O mold, right? Your organs are embedded in all this squishiness, and the squishiness is created by the interaction of the connective tissue with water, and sulfate is the bridge. Are you with me?
Yes.
If you ever make Jell-O?
Yes.
What happens when you take Jell-O, when you take the powder from Jell-O and put it in water? What happens to it?
Well,
it gels.
Starts to gel.
It gels. That's your insides. Your insides are like Jell-O. Jell-O is connective tissue. Literally, it's collagen. And that gelling, that swellingness, is what the inside of the body is made up. And it's a combination of several factors. Number one, it's a combination of the rebar. Remember the fibers, the collagen. Number two, it's an interaction with the sulfates that are on the collagen and that are on the polysaccharides and the sugars and the proteoglycans and such. There's sulfur there and ionic minerals. And the three of them together hold the water in place and organize it. This is what structured water is. The water is structured. In Jell-O, it's structured too, by the way. That's what makes it have a gel. You can't squeeze Jell-O and have the water come out, right? If you took your Jell-O and pressed it, would the water come out? No, it's locked in place. And that's what it is with the body. But as we age and we don't have as much sulfur, our sulfate deteriorates, we don't have as much collagen, there's nothing to tie up the water. And that's why we sink. And that's, I call blobification. We blobify, right? And we hate that. That blobification is the end result of all the structured water dropping. But it's worse than that, because you see, the structured water holds everything in place, but it does something else. It's a perfect information transfer system. It's electrical because it's a solid. So it passes electricity through very, very, with great ease and facility. And electricity and vibration are how the body communicate, how the components of the body communicate with each other. So it's not just that we blobify and we lose our water, we lose our coherency. We lose our ability to communicate messages. This is what aging is. And this is what disease is. It's decoherence of our liquid portion. And anything you do to structure the tissue around, or the solids around the water, will improve its coherence. Is this making sense? Because this is high-tech stuff, guys.
It's making sense only because I've heard you say this.
I've said it before. Yeah, I've said it a lot.
If you had not said it in the past, it probably would be a little difficult.
I hope it lands. I hope it lands because it's really important. Yeah. Well, it's super important.
Can I do a follow-up then?
Yes, of course. Actually, before you do, Mary, let me ask you a question. First of all, are we, we've been talking a lot. We've been talking for like an hour now. We've been talking a lot of kind of high-tech stuff. Is this, you think we're talking over people's heads, Mary? I assume you're not a scientist. You don't have a back necessarily. You studied this stuff. So to the average person, you think this is too much?
She actually is an engineer. So.
Oh, you are an engineer. Well, then you understand everything I'm saying, probably. Isn't what I'm saying logical, Mary?
Yes, yes. But we've met before, but yes.
Okay. Sure. Do you think is it too much?
No, it's not too much. My follow-up question, maybe it gives a little bit more perspective, is that there are multiple types of connective tissue in the body. No, there's not.
There are, but that's neither here nor there. There are. That's true.
It doesn't matter.
No. Once you eat the connective tissue, it's all broken down into pieces. There's like 20 or so different collagens. That's true. But from a supplemental standpoint, they're hydrolyzed. Yeah. It's all hydrolyzed collagen. So they're all broken up into peptides.
Yeah.
It makes sense? You follow me?
Yeah.
They're different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So from a sulfate standpoint, it doesn't, I think I hear you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter what form is attached.
As far as the sulfate goes?
Correct.
Yeah, but you don't want to get your sulfate just as I only pointed that out because if you have an option to get glucosamine hydrochloride or glucosamine sulfate, you'll take the sulfate. Sure. One of the added advantages of the fucoin is get the sulfate, but really the best way to get sulfate is make sure you're eating your sulfur amino acids and taking your MSM.
Right.
And high protein foods and MSM, and let your body make the sulfate. And by the way, how does the body activate sulfate? Remember? The sun.
We don't get
the sun through our skin. Photons. Right
yeah.
What?
Well, we don't get a lot of that with all this.
I know, that's true. That's true. Where do you live? Where are you living?
The Midwest.
You're in the Midwest. Are you in Detroit or St. Louis or something?
Ohio. With the snowstorm. So.
I'm going to tell you something that will make you feel very happy for me. I wore shorts and a t-shirt here in Colorado today.
That's fantastic.
I know. I thought you'd be happy for me.
All right.
I know everybody's all suffering and struggling. It is 30 degrees here, but we wear shorts and t-shirt when it's 30 degrees.
Yeah. That's another story. Thank you, AJ.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
We'll see you later. And then
let's do one more.
Well, Pharmacist Ben, if you look at that time, we've only been on for 54 minutes. Just joking. 25. Bonnie wrote in. She's got vertigo MDDS. I will define MDDS.
Please do.
25 years ago, after taking a first and last cruise ship voyage, I got off the ship and never regained my land legs. 25 years ago. My head is in a constant state of feeling that I'm bobbing. When I walk, I feel that I'm constantly on a trampoline. I went to many doctors and had many tests. I was diagnosed with MDDS,
You
which
know what
is
MDDS stands for?
mild debarkment syndrome.
Do you know what that means?
Bad getting off.
Bad getting off a ship. Bad getting off a ship.
Exactly.
It's literally what it means. Isn't
We're
that
not
funny?
going to laugh at her because she's been
What's
dealing with
the most important word there of the MDDS?
syndrome.
Bingo. Why is that the most important word?
Because it's a system.
There's a bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a bunch of stuff happening. So if she really has MDDS, she has more than vertigo. Okay. Now she's not on the call. We can't ask her, but if she's really been diagnosed with MDDS, she's been diagnosed with a syndrome. That means there's multiple things. By definition, not by assertion, by definition, if you have a bunch of things going wrong due to one problem, what is the bridge between the problem and all those different things?
The blood.
Bingo. By definition. By definition. You can't have it any other way. It can't happen any other way. If it's a syndrome and you have a bunch of symptoms associated with one diagnosis, something's got to connect the two. So she got off the ship and she got a syndrome, right? So what's the connection between getting off the ship and the syndrome? Has to be the blood. Now, I don't know, it was just literally getting off the ship. It could have been something she was doing when she was on the ship, for that matter. So we don't know exactly what it is, but that's what they call it. When somebody has something like that, I go back to my, I hate to keep repeating myself over and over again, but your point is well taken. Sometimes you need to repeat things a lot. But Bob Ross and his paintings, Bob Ross, big white canvas, put a dot in the middle. I don't know what the heck that is. It's a dot in the middle. Put another dot. I don't know. That's two dots. Put a third dot, boom, a river. Fourth dot, boom, a tree. Fifth dot, a bird. Sixth dot, a landscape. Seventh dot, all of a sudden you got a whole picture emerging from multiple data points. Right now, all I know is she's got vertigo. It's a syndrome, though, so there's going to be multiple data points. Tell me the data points so a picture can emerge and we can see what the heck's going on.
I do have a couple data points in this email, but I'm going to try and reach out to this woman. I know that we're going to help her. So
okay, I know we are too. I know we are too. And as a matter of fact, that's my guarantee to anybody who's sick out there. If you'll do what we say, if you'll do everything we say, okay, and that, by the way, I don't like being in that position. Nonetheless, in the interest of helping my fellow man and woman, I'm going to take that position and say, do everything we say, take the supplements we tell you. There's nobody that will not benefit, not improve to one degree or another, depending on how close they follow what we say. I saw somebody like a real flash for a second that said MSM gives somebody gas. That tells me something's not getting processed correctly, and gas is, like we talked about on Friday, sulfur, right?
Sulfur.
So sulfur. So
It's
he's not processing. The MSM's being released. Yes, somehow that tells me there's SIBO. There's some kind of bacteria going on because the bacteria are reacting with the MSM and they're deconstructing it, and they're probably hydrogenating it to create hydrogen sulfide, which is fart, which is gas. So bacteria in the intestine, they're very chemically active. They're doing stuff. And one of the things they're doing is they're reacting with molecules that we ingest. That makes perfect sense. So that sounds to me like SIBO or digestive health.
I thought we were done talking about I thought the word fart left us Friday. Keely is asking, Keely, can you speak? We got to be quick.
No, you don't have to be that quick. Please discuss.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey there, Keely.
Hi, how are you there?
Good to see you. Please discuss the impact of anesthesia after multiple surgeries back to back. Well, it's definitely processed by the liver, so you're going to be putting some stress on your liver, and you'll definitely, absolutely, very smart, depleting yourself of minerals and nutrients as the body attempts to detoxify them. So after you do minerals, after you do anesthesia, it's very important that you renutriate, as particularly with the detox nutrients, which are things like glutathione and selenium and sulfur and methyl groups and any of the flavonoids that you get from fruits and vegetables. The plant-derived minerals are a must-have. Vitamin C is a must-have. Work on what they call phase 1 and phase 2 detox. Maybe we'll talk about phase 1 and phase 2 detox on Friday, AJ. Phase 1, phase 2 detox is what takes care of anesthesia or the gases. And then also, I will say, I've had surgery twice. I've had surgery twice, or 3 times actually. And when I've had surgeries after the anesthesia, I felt so high. I felt awesome. I felt so good. The anesthesia does have some kind of effect on your brain like that. And that's why I think people abuse ketamine and propanol and these other kinds of anesthetics. But that being said, you definitely want that stuff out of your body as soon as possible. And that I would be phase 1 and upregulating phase 1 and phase 2 detox.
Yeah, this guy is 70 years old, and he's had 2 surgeries back to back. They want to take him for a third one, and they're basically
What surgeries?
he had prostate. His prostate was rated at actually almost 300. Had a catheter in for, it was enormous. They thought that he had cancer. Obviously, he didn't. They did the surgery, and then he's got freedom of movement, urinating. Now they're saying that his thyroid, they want to take him in for his thyroid. And
they want to take out his thyroid? They want to take out his thyroid? The whole thyroid?
Pardon me?
They want to take the whole thyroid out, not just part of it.
Yeah, and he goes, look, I got foggy brain, and I said, I said, let's put this on hold. So he agreed to do that, and he's like, you've got me on, the heart pack and this kind of stuff. He says, but I can't get rid of this foggy brain and this weakness that I feel in my body. So
there's a lot that he could do, and chances are good if he's had surgery to remove his prostate. Chances are pretty good he's toxic, and now they want to remove his thyroid. Chances are pretty good he's toxic. And remember, AJ will tell you this, and I'm sure you know this. There's only one disease. What is that disease, Mr. AJ? MBFA.
My body's
falling apart disease. And what is the only cause of my body's falling apart disease? Dirty blood. Dirty blood. This guy's suffering from dirty blood, but because the blood's everything, now he's falling apart everywhere. So the doctors are going to take everything out. That's what. Is this craziness?
Criminal.
This is absolutely insane to me. So his blood's dirty, so of course he's going to have thyroid problem, prostate problem, other problems. And instead of figuring out the blood, they want to take the organs out. To me, it's just, and they're not dumb. They're not dumb.
He says, tell me why the VA would want to do all these procedures.
Oh, it's the VA. Oh, that's different. That explains that. Anybody who's been to the VA knows what I'm talking about. I
said, because you're the experiment. That's what I told him.
Pretty much. Yeah, VA. That's the VA was what I thought of when they wanted to give us that national health care. I thought of the VA.
The VA has gotten better over the years. From
what
I hear.
Okay.
That's what I hear. Okay, we got one last question.
Let's do it. Let's do it, amigo.
Just been diagnosed with superior semicircular canal dehiscence.
Oh my goodness, what the heck is that?
Where I've been thinning of the temporal bone, which is causing tinnitus or tinnitus when you're some balance and dizziness issues. Any supplements you can recommend? Okay.
Yes.
So
I would go to the superior semicircular canal store and buy a new superior semicircular canal and have them install it. No. What's the one? It's just degeneration. It's just deterioration. AJ, you can help this person. What is the cause? What is the name of the disease?
My body is falling apart disease, for sure.
What's the source of my body's falling apart disease?
Dirty blood.
Right. You see, they wanted to focus on the superior semicircular canal, which is in the ear, so that you can go to a superior semicircular canal specialist who specializes in, all he does is, I do superior semicircular canals every day. I do 5 superior semicircular canals all the time. I know the semicircular canal, the superior semicircular canal, like the back of my hand. I'm the best superior semicircular canal doctor in the world. That's what it is. That's what you do. Do you understand the logic here? You don't have a superior semicircular canal problem. You just see it there. Where you see the pathology is not where the pathology begins. You're not going to help the pathology at that level. So you can go to your superior semicircular canal specialist who diagnosed you with a superior semicircular canal. I don't know what dehiscence means, degeneration, whatever it is. And you have a thinning in the temporal bone, which is a bone that's around the ear. And the way the ear hears involves all kinds of echoes and and vibrations, and it's a very complicated process with fluids in tiny vessels. And when you turn your head, the fluids go a certain way, and that triggers a whole bunch of other stuff. It's incredibly complicated, but you don't need to know that. Clean the blood, man. Is this guy on the call?
She is watching on YouTube. T. Henson's is the splitting of an open wound, often a surgical incision due to a failure in healing where edges separate.
I learned a new word there. It doesn't matter, but that's a good thing. I didn't know that was a thing. I hadn't heard that word before. Okay, so that's great. Okay, so there was a splitting. It's deteriorating. It's degenerating. It's falling apart. It's MBFA. And Gay, is this person named Gay? Or Gail? I'm sorry, Gail. And Gail, you have to have other health challenges. Mostly digestive, or at least digestive. We're going to wait until we get an answer back.
Pharmacist Ben, I need to chime in here.
Yeah.
Because this is a classic Dr. Wallach, and I think I'm the bridge.
Hey, is he going to do the osteoporosis of the skull? Is that
this is classic?
Okay, let me tell you about osteoporosis of the skull. What is osteoporosis of the skull? It's MBFA.
Yes. And
it's MBFA.
That's why I want to call myself the bridge. Because I can see
he calls it osteoporosis of the skull, and it is. Yes, the bones. When you have osteoporosis, it doesn't just happen in your legs or your arms. It happens everywhere where you have bone.
Globally, absolutely.
This is bone. We're a bonehead. You know.
Although they don't consider this to be a
and
bone.
When that happens, but it's not just the skull. It's all of the fine. There's fine little pipes and ducts and tubes and all kinds of nooks and crannies, and they all become osteoporotic too. So he's right. Except I call it MBFA because it's more. I see it as more global and more systemic. It affects everything. MBFA says to me, it's my body, it's not just the skull or the bone. That's why I like MBFA. But it's the same thing.
Well, same thing, and then also how you deal with it. Doc is telling you one thing.
He says healthy bone and joint pack probably.
And dealing with it globally. So you're saying you're talking about intricacy, but still dealing with it globally. It's the same thing. I mean, for somebody like me, I hear the exact same thing just out of one ear. And out of
if you take care of one part of the body, you're going to take care of every part of the body. If you take care of one cell, all you got to do is take care of one cell. If you take care of one cell, all the other cells are going to benefit. If you take care of just the osteoporosis of the skull, your legs are going to benefit. Your toes are going to benefit. Your fingers are going to benefit. Your elbows are going to benefit. Everything's going to benefit if you take care of your skull.
And by virtue of taking the bone and joint pack, your gut's going to benefit. And so that's kind of what I mean.
Your gums are going to benefit. You're going to have less wrinkles.
Yeah, I mean,
your blood vessels will be stronger. Yeah, I mean, does this make sense? Isn't this the way you want to do it? Or Prolia?
Yeah.
You know, to me, I don't know. It's something to me. It just seems so obvious and self-evident. I can't understand how it's not like a thing. Really, it is a thing. You know, the people on the call here, but it's not a thing for everybody. And I don't understand that. Thank you. Is this person young? Mickey Pastor?
Mickey Pastor. I don't know, but Mickey is loyal.
Who is Mickey a pastor really? Or is that the last name?
Pastor is the last name.
Okay. I want to be inspiring to the young, and I want to give hope to the old. Thank you so much.
So Coach Rod is talking about, did I?
It's Coach Rod. You've ever meet Coach Rod? Coach Rod is a specimen.
Coach Rod is my man. That's
Coach Rod.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Coach Rod was a badass prison guard.
Well, he was a good ass football player.
And I could see that, man. He was. I think he's a running back. Was he running back or linebacker? You told me. I forgot.
Yeah, running back. Running
back. Coach Rod, show your face, man. Coach Rod is a specimen. Man, that guy is solid.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, can you tell me about this image? Can you walk me through this image?
Oh, you went online and got my image.
Well, he's asking me to talk. Can you see it well enough?
Kind of. What is there a question about it?
Well, this is what Coach Rod wants us to. He wants to know where he can get it. But if you can see here, is there a way I can? see.
Can you make it bigger?
Trying to.
Coach Rod, I think I have it somewhere. I mean, I know I have it somewhere. I got to find it, but I know I have it.
You have this?
Yeah.
I made this.
Oh, you made that?
This one. You did send me one, by the way. You did send me one.
Oh, that's not the one I sent. This one looks good, though. That one looks really good.
So you see here, where you're just starting here, and then can you see the mechanism is dirty blood?
Yeah, I see. I love it. Will you send this to me?
For sure.
Send this to me, because I know I did one, but I don't think mine is as good as this.
I know yours was great. I liked it. I like the one you sent.
I'll have to take a look at mine. Oh, look, MBFA. MBFA disease. Damn. Pharmacal. Wait a minute. I'm not a farcical.
AI doesn't spell everything right.
I know. That's true. It doesn't do everything right. It's good though. It's still really good. I'm impressed. Macro and micro. Look at that. Damn. We are doing good. All right. That's it. Coach Rod, good to see you, man. Even if it's just your picture.
Pharmacist Ben, our last question of the night is, are you ready?
Yes.
How come you didn't tell me that BTO had other songs besides the one
I was so blown away that you hadn't heard, that you never heard of them. I was blown away.
If you just said taking care of business,
I would have known. Business.
I would have known.
Well, they had like 6 in a row. They had 6 hot songs in a row. They were good, man.
Yeah,
they were good. I couldn't believe you hadn't heard of BTO.
Like I said, I think I heard of them. I just didn't.
What year were you born? 72?
That's a good call, Pharmacist Ben.
Is that when you were born? Really?
That was right on the number.
Right on. So you didn't, you missed it a little because they were big 73 to 75. They were big. So you weren't quite there yet. Isn't it interesting? This is a digression. That's nothing to do with health. But isn't it interesting how 70s music has really lasted? Like people still listen to 70s music? Even young people.
It's interesting because I remember when I was in my 20s and I listened to 50-year-old guys listening to like the Delphonics.
Oh yeah,
listening to all
that's you. Stuff. That's you listening to 70s music.
Well, yeah, and now, yes.
Yeah, that's you listening to 70s. Let me tell you about the Delphonics. I can't believe you even said that. The lead singer of the Delphonics was a friend of mine for a long time. I lost touch with him. He lived in Boulder. Ron Ellison. Yeah, he was the lead singer of the Delphonics. And I didn't really know about the Delphonics, to tell you the truth. But he taught me about them. And I never heard anybody else say anything about them until you just said that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a very, very interesting guy. I don't even saw a lot. He's like 10 or 15 years older than me. So so you were born in 72. You missed out on all that stuff.
Yeah.
70s were awesome, man.
It's interesting. The people is, every show we're gonna find Let It Ride, Victor is saying.
Let's do that. Let it ride. Ride. I'm gonna go listen to it now.
Coach Rod said he was running back and linebacker.
He was both.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We were both right.
Well,
he does look like a running back, though. He definitely looks like a running back.
Yeah. Definitely.
I wouldn't want to tackle Coach Rod with a head of steam. I wouldn't stand in the way.
No. I'd step to the side, stick my foot out.
Coach Rod with a head of steam. I'd be Olay in it. Olay.
Allowed though. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Coach Rod's a good guy though.
Barbara likes 60s music better.
She does. Okay, 60s is all right. 70s worse at it. 80s was pretty good too.
80s was pretty cool. I could see Barbara with the Pinky Tuscadero, the dress with the poodle on it.
Pinky Tuscadero. What is that? Pinky Tuscadero. That sounds cool, but I don't know what it is. All right, Barb, AJ, Rod.
That's from Happy Days. Okay,
I never.
Fred Van Loo apparently asked for the.
Is Fred? Oh, Fred. Oh, he's not on the call. Fred doesn't join us. Fred knows some stuff too, by the way.
I knew Fred knows some stuff. I knew Longevity.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
You knew about his? Really?
Yeah.
You gotta tell me that sometime. Fred knows his stuff. I'm a fan of Fred Van Loo, and I drink quantum water every day out of my mug, my 32-ounce mug. Every day, first thing in the morning, I take my water, fill up a 32-ounce mug of that glass, whatever he calls it, and then I drink it down every morning.
We definitely got to have a conversation.
Right.
Pharmacist
And by the way,
Ben.
the whole lie, he has a proprietary thing he doesn't talk about too much. And I really don't know what he does, but the whole point is cohering the water, making the water more coherent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Do you
what he
think it
does.
makes you more hydrated?
It's better water. It's more hydrating water for sure.
Mm-hmm. You the man, Pharmacist Ben.
All right, guys. See you Friday. And what are we going to talk about Friday? We said I want to talk about. I forgot
you said phase 1 and phase 2.
Phase 1, phase 2. Let's do that on Friday. Okay.
You the man. Thank you, sir.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
So let's talk about something huge in weight management. How in the world do you quiet down those constant cravings? Today, we're going to dig into the science behind a super important hormone called GLP-1, and we'll break down a nutritional strategy that's all about working with your body. It's called the YGY GLP-1 30-day system. But first, let's kick things off with a question that honestly probably hits home for a lot of us. Why does trying to lose weight feel like such an impossible uphill battle? I mean, you've got the motivation, you've got the plan, but it still feels like you're literally fighting your own body every step of the way. Well, it turns out it's not just in your head. It's not about a lack of willpower. Your body is biologically hardwired to fight back against weight loss. The moment you start cutting calories, your metabolism can hit the brakes, and your brain starts screaming for more food with intense cravings. So yeah, that feeling of an internal war, it is very, very real. And you know what? That internal battle actually has a name. It's called food noise. Just think of it like constant static in your brain. That little voice that's always thinking about the next meal, the random cravings that pop up, the old habits that are just so hard to break. It's this noise that can totally derail even the most perfect plans. Okay, so that's the problem. But what if your body also had a built-in ally in this fight? Let's talk about GLP-1. This is a hormone your body produces all on its own, and it plays an absolutely crucial role in managing your appetite. So how does this ally actually work? Well, it's pretty cool. When you eat, your body releases GLP-1. It then travels up to your brain and basically sends a message that says, hey, we're good down here, we're getting full. That signal is what helps turn down the volume on all that food noise, acting like your body's own natural off switch for hunger. Now, this whole GLP-1 thing is getting a ton of attention right now, and there are two very different ways people are trying to harness its power. On one side, you have powerful pharmaceutical drugs, and on the other, you have a targeted nutritional system. Let's really break down the difference between the two. And right here is the biggest difference in how they work. The sources explain that GLP-1 drugs are what you call agonists. Now, think of an agonist like a master key. It's not your body's original key, but it's designed to fit the lock perfectly and force it open. These drugs go in and directly hit your GLP-1 receptors. The nutritional system, on the other hand, is trying to be more like a locksmith, giving your body the tools it needs to make more of its own natural keys. And this slide, this highlights a massive difference in timing. Your body's natural GLP-1 signal is super quick. It does its job for maybe a minute or two, and then it's gone. But according to the sources, the drug approach keeps that I'm full switch flipped on, not for a couple of minutes, but for 5 to 7 days. That is a completely different level of intensity. Now, that sustained long-term activation is what makes these drugs so effective, for sure. But it's also what has started a much bigger conversation about potential side effects. The sources we looked at mentioned concerns some users have brought up, like major digestive issues or muscle loss. And it's exactly this conversation that's making people look for alternative, nutritional ways to support GLP-1. So, with all that as context, let's pivot and take a closer look at this nutritional approach. This specific 30-day system is built on 3 separate parts that are all designed to work together. So here it is, the whole system. As you can see, it's all about these 3 products. And I kind of like the names: Elevate, Activate, and Regulate. Each one has a very specific job to do in this whole strategy. So let's break down what each one actually does. First up, we've got Elevate. This is a daily shot, and its main goal is right there in the name, to give your body the key nutrients it needs to elevate its own natural production of GLP-1. The whole idea with Elevate is to help you feel fuller, faster, and turn down that food noise. A key part of it is something called postbiotics. So if you think of probiotics as the little factory workers in your gut, postbiotics are the amazing things those workers make. They're the finished product, and they do a ton of the heavy lifting for your gut health. In fact, the source material says that the ingredients in Elevate have been shown in studies to help the body increase its natural GLP-1 levels by almost 3 times. All right, so that's part 1. Part 2 is the activator, or activate. Now, if Elevate is all about making more GLP-1, activate is all about protecting it. This is where the synergy really kicks in. Remember how we said your natural GLP-1 only lasts for a minute or 2? That's because your body has these enzymes that break it down really fast. Well, Activate has ingredients like L-arginine and resveratrol, which the source says basically act like bodyguards for your GLP-1, helping to protect it so that feeling of fullness can last longer. And that brings us to the third and final piece of the puzzle, the fiber, which is called Regulate. This part of the system offers support in a more, let's say, physical way. You know, fiber is just a powerhouse. First, it adds physical bulk in your stomach, which helps send another one of those I'm full signals to your brain. Second, it kind of acts like a gentle scrub brush for your digestive tract. And third, this is a prebiotic fiber, which means it's the food that feeds all those good probiotics in your gut, supporting your overall health from the inside out. Okay, so we've got the 3 parts, one to boost, one to protect, and one to support. But how does it all come together? Let's look at the actual 30-day plan. The whole thing is designed in phases. You kick things off with 10 days of the Elevate shot right before your biggest meal to really get your body's natural production going. Then for the next 20 days, you switch over to the Activate packet to help protect and maintain those levels. And through it all, for all 30 days, that Regulate fiber is your daily constant, giving you that foundational support for fullness and gut health. Now, on top of those products, the system also emphasizes 2 really simple but critical habits. First is getting enough protein. This is so important for keeping muscle while you lose weight, and it also helps you feel full. The second is hydration, just drinking enough water. This is always important, but it's especially key for letting that fiber do its job right. You know, it really all comes back to this one simple idea. A quote from the source material puts it perfectly. If you can conquer those cravings, if you can quiet the food noise, that's more than half the battle in weight management. It's a great reminder that this is about more than just counting calories. It's about managing those internal signals that drive how we eat. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What if the real key to managing our weight isn't just about the food we put on our plate, but about the noise inside our heads? What if the whole goal is just to find a way to